All right, folks. Hey, good morning. Welcome on back here this Monday into a brand new week here inside our live trading room. We got Monday, November 10th for the record keepers out there. Great to have all of us, though, back otherwise inside our live trading room. Farzad, Rich, Grant, Catherine, I should say Kate, Sam, Lawrence, all of our students here. Let me get the webcam up for you as well. Should be able to see me as well as hear me. Great to have all of us, though, back here on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., popping up lower left, right below me, right there. Our YouTube right there at Cyber Trading U. Make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button right there. If you are not in tune with our streams or any of our social media platforms alike, I'm doing a live workshop at noon Eastern. Actually, as good of a reason as any to hit that follow or subscribe button, hit that notification icon as well, so you know when we're going live. Let me actually pop this up here, at least here too. There we go. Take that off. Perfect. All right, let's hop right into the thick of things, at least right now. Monday morning, there's a lot going on, at least here. Remember, we have the shutdown allegedly ending. I know they voted last night, overnight. If you thought that was going to be the end of the shutdown, we're not there just yet. I think that like at 11 o'clock this morning, there's something going on. So there's that to work with. We have the CPI report coming out on Thursday. That's later on this week. But, you know, there's going to be a little hesitancy within the market probably tomorrow, probably Wednesday, in lieu of the data coming out. PPI report on Friday. We have some earnings coming out, which we'll have the chance to get to here at least. But also, though, the move trade here, this thing is just kind of breaking all systems right now, up already about 240%. This thing's been taking a beating, though. So I guess it's kind of deserved for this to have like at least one day in the sun, for this to at least have one decent up day. I think fell off a cliff from like 140 all the way down. Let me go back all the way on the weekly, the monthly. I mean, I guess this was some IPO all the way back from 2021. But, you know, $1,000 a share. I don't know. Maybe reverse splits were factored in with that. What's the news out on this company this morning? I didn't even take a look. I'm sure that Rich posted it earlier for all of us here. If not, then we'll have the chance to do it right now then at least, right? So move got halted. Oh, it got halted off news pending even. How about that? 7:25 earlier this morning. So Movano and another company, Corvex, they announced a merger agreement, reading this one here, second down from top, exchange ratio based upon Movano per share value of $6.25, blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is not your normal buyout. This isn't like company A purchased company B at so-and-so price. A merger is a little bit different, but clearly it's different based on how the trade is reacting here. The shorts likely ended up covering right away. And then from there, once the stock ended up pushing back over 7, all bets were off. So imagine being short on this trade as it's running up 200, 300, perhaps even as much as 500% prior to the market even opening here. So we take a look on level 4. There is not really much sellers out there at all, maybe not up until 30. I didn't even notice that up until now with you guys here. But yeah, I mean, for the time being, this thing is smooth sailing, higher lows, popped here at this point, just going into the 9 o'clock morning meeting. And it's been holding here since. So I think that aside from using Bookmap, at least, you know, $30, that is a big level based on the iceberg there. That should be a psychological level as well. Just $5 and $10 prices, 20 even. There's not much there, but we should still give it a little respect coming on up. First test, best test, and it should look to hold it. From there, 25, then from there, 30. Obviously, this is the big one, but you don't want to kick your feet back assuming it's going to hit that price immediately, or at least guaranteed. What if this sell order pulls and they place it at 25? What if they place it at 20? What if there's a new sell order that pops up and undercuts that 25K? So, yeah, going into the open, absolutely. We'll just put the move trade on there. Absolutely. I mean, it's more category 5, but beautiful move. If anyone caught this inside our live trading room, at least early on, let me know. For Jazz, Lawrence, Michael, Kathleen, Brad, Steven, Leda here, let me know if anyone jumped into this move, at least from before. Even if you pulled some money out already, if you left some money on the table, so be it. Just let me know if you ended up getting into this trade. Now, also, I forgot to mention, at least, of course, the market is open tomorrow, so we'll be very recognizing of it, but tomorrow is Veterans Day, so keep in mind, things might be a little slow as is for that reason more than anything, even more than the shutdown ending or whatever the case with the PPI, CPI, JJI, whatever it is coming out later this week. We got Veterans Day tomorrow, so I think that could slow things down a bit within the market, even though the market's going to remain open. So we will just keep that in mind, at least for tomorrow, bright and early. Now, A couple of things that moved from the end of last week, right? From trades from Friday that we caught. It was a decent Friday for what it was worth. It's not even to say nickels and dimes, but otherwise, it was a pretty decent outing altogether. Let me get this here. What was this? Pre-market here or what? BKYI? I don't know where this came from here. This thing is not really moving that great. The MSGM, this was more from at least the morning session. It ended up making a good pre-market move. Let me get to the EOS. This is the trade of the day from Friday. Don't mind that other crap. This EOS trade blew the roof off the place Friday afternoon. Minimal pullbacks here. It just kept going up, 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 up. Even finally here at 1650, it did have a nasty shake, but no time to even see support build. It just kept going up, 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 up. So we're a big fan of this EOS company, EOSE. We ended up trading them back from mid of August all the way through into basically October time. A couple of days and shakes worth of consolidation, but that's the case with anything that goes up too fast. You could have said that even just Friday on the intraday chart, let alone here as it kept going up, 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 up. All right, well, this is your pullback, right? It's kind of identical, actually, right? It's like very identical. Up, 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 up. It's like your one day. And even here, it didn't consolidate as much. It just kind of held here, then moved back up. But for the time being, the EOSC, it's not up or down a lot today, but it's holding up so well. And it's a great stock that has good iceberg orders. So that's easily one that we want to keep an eye on. The Peloton trade was also a good Friday afternoon. Finally broke out from the 7:30 level as I was doing this very meeting at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Remember, we're on in the mornings and the afternoons, 9 o'clock, 2:30 Eastern, respectively. So right at 2:30, I was on mic here going into the afternoon meeting, and I ended up missing out on this. I wish I could say I jumped in on this trade because I ended up jumping in early here, and I took a small loss. Right place, wrong time, clearly, right? It's all about knowing your levels, but it's also about just being there in the moment. So we're not always going to be there in the moment for every single trade. I'm going to ask our students inside our live trading room a question coming up that I know that not every one of us was there for to take. But that's just where here, a lot of our students were able to jump in on this trade as I was yapping, as I was on the mic on Friday afternoon, pushed up from 7:30 all the way up towards basically into the close. Hold into the close, right? Even again, another stock holding near the highs of the day going into the market open. It's probably trading like 100,000+ shares at least this morning in pre-market. So I wouldn't mind putting this back on our watch list for today. There could be more thought to see another squeeze up again. Let's see what else we had at least. We'll kind of cherry pick. We'll come back to this trade if we need to. Kodiak, whatever you want to call it, had a pretty good move up earlier on in the morning, going into the afternoon as well. This stock we've done pretty well on, but just it's a pop and drop trade. I mean, this is just a weekly chart. So it just goes to show within 1 week, this is probably within 1 day, where it ended up popping up, came crashing back down. Hey, if we could see the stock make a fraction of that type of move, we would be happy to see it. So it made a micro fraction of a type of move like that Friday afternoon, Friday morning. Again, kind of similar to Peloton. It's right near the highs. I like that part, but it's not really like trading as much volume as Peloton, at least. Certainly not trading as much volume as the EOS trade is this morning. We'll get to Tesla in a bit. That was on the downside. We had the MP trade also Friday. That had a pretty good move up earlier on in the morning session. This one definitely is trading some good activity early on today. Not just the fact it's up 4+%. That is pretty good to see. But you could tell, just look at this chart versus look at Peloton chart. These little tiny spots or little specks here. I'm not really a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of at least some full body candles, or at least, give me some bodies and some wicks. Either way, this is moving up and down. So this has some better activity to it today. The MP trade, a little more expensive, but I wouldn't mind putting this on our list also for the time being. Got to yank my own leash here at some point because I don't want to build too big of a list up already. We got to go through the gainers list here in just a bit. But on the downside, we had Tesla Friday in the morning session on the downside. Then it made a pretty good bounce going into the close. Run was a pretty good short that we had earlier on in the morning hours, coming off, I believe, earnings they had. This had a great setup for a swing trade, but it didn't break over the level, let alone try and make that move. It was right off of like 22 and change. Maybe it broke it on this 1 week, but we were focused on it on the weeks afterwards. This candle, this candle, this candle. We were looking at it for a retest and a re-break of that resistance. Never got it afterwards. So, it kind of came back down. They had their earnings Thursday night into Friday. But, hey, we'll come back to this trade if we need to. Definitely on the upside. I would love to revisit that thought, have this try and re-crack this resistance. It was holding so well. Would love to see that play out, but we got other fishies out there in the sea for us to try and reel in. So let's just try and go through our percent gainers list and losers list here going into the open, see what we got. GLTO. So Galecto and then Movano. Those are the two crazy ones this morning. Move and GLTO. They're separate. They're not related to one another. They're moving off of separate news here, at least today. GLTO is making a great pattern here on the chart. Double bottom, pushing back up pretty well. What the hell's going on here at this long-term graph? Holy hell. All right, so this thing fell off quite a bit, even just back from 24 into this year. But then obviously you see what I see here. Big gap up, big gap down, big gap up again, and then it just tanked from that point. So you can't trust this stock as far as you could throw it. I'd rather just look at the others. I'd rather scan for others out there. Don't get stuck in that trade by the time the market opens. And if that thing just tanks immediately and gets halted right away, brutal. We don't want to be a part of that. So let's just keep going through here. The COGT trade. This kind of looks like a buyout. Kind of looks like a buyout. Looks like it's not. Phase 3 drug trial news, though. It looks flat, though, right? Gapped up, but then it flattened out quite a bit. So that kind of made me think it was possibly a buyout. So phase 3 peak study showed a median progression free survival, blah, 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 blah. Company plans to submit NDA to the FDA for their drug in intolerant gastrointestinal stromal tumors. So, yeah, I mean, going into the open, as long as it's not a buyout, I don't mind putting this on our list. Interesting thought here, just with phase 3 news. They submitted, NDA to the FDA. IFRX, I went break even on this trade early this morning here. This was the only stock I took in pre-market, and I went break even on it. I was pretty happy with the end result because the thing just tanked after, probably about like 4 minutes, 5 minutes or so after. Yeah, I bought right here at 199. Then I sold right here at 199. Oh, it was like pretty much immediately afterwards. It was a good exit. Well, at least for right now, this thing is down in the dumps again. It pulled back below this little level here. This was resistance from the after hours on Friday, broke out here, held this trend line. And I was thinking maybe resistance could flip. Just didn't do it there. I wouldn't mind putting this on our list because we want a couple of cheaper stocks to have on our watch list for the open today. We don't really have many cheap stocks at all, actually. The EOS is not expensive, but that's not inexpensive. IFRX is like just pretty cheap. It's an inexpensive stock on good volume, tight spread, good orders out there. So I don't mind adding that. See if it can come back up again. Otherwise, just look at these trends. I'd rather these stocks prove themselves to us first. MSGY, this thing's been dead. GREE, if you've been waiting for this to move up, I mean, I hope you weren't holding your breath. Omex here, it's going up a little bit. I think this was one of the deep sea mining stocks that Trump was kind of interested in at first, a little while back. I think that was back in like March of this calendar year. So it's actually made a great swing trade since then. I haven't even noticed that until now. That's interesting. That could have been a great swing trade, about 400+% swing trade. Back up again this morning. All right, cool. A little spotty of a graph, but it's going on up. The direction there is up. It's also pretty inexpensive. I'd rather at least add one more of those, at least to our watch list for right now. ALTS also looking pretty good. The DVLT was looking good just before, but that pulled back. Ondis, we love this stock. Ondis, it ran up actually beautifully on Friday. Should have had that there too, and popped even more going into the after hours. So I don't know. Is there any news out on this company, at least from Thursday into Friday? Did they have earnings also? Thursday into Friday, they reported their. Oh no, they're going to report this week on the 13th. So they just said that here, right? On Wednesday morning, they announced that they appointed their former Raphael president and CEO, Major General. I don't know if that's like a botched headline, but just it's to say they nominated some guy to their autonomous systems advisory board. That came out at least this morning at 8:30 today. So, there's news behind it. It's a stock that we traded back on Friday at the end of last week. It's still on good momentum, pushing at least upward, even if it's sideways moving. Sideways after Friday's run up is a hell of a lot better than down. So I'll add that for right now too. plug. I know that we were talking about that earlier on this morning. Grant, it's kind of holding here for right now. I don't mind just kind of slipping plug on our list right now too. BMNR. So Bitcoin made a bit of a move back up, I think, with the news with the shutdown possibly ending here today. So, hey, long term, we'll kind of go over this more in our workshop at noon Eastern today, our live workshop traders talk. So stay tuned for that. But I don't think that this is, the end of the drop off. I think that we're going to continue to pull back more over time. So going into today, at least, that's where a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum related tickers are going on up. BMNR at least moved on Friday in the afternoon, gapped up a little bit this morning. I'm sure MSTR is going up a little bit. ASST was a potential short squeeze. It's kind of pulling back down right now, though. All right. You know what? I'll kind of pass on all of them for the time being. We'll call them out as we see them. If they're pulling back right now, at least that's kind of telling something to me. So I'd rather wait on them. Let me hop over to the losers list though for the time being. We got to finish this meeting up quick. I don't know how Fausto does this in 11 minutes. See him sometimes 11, 12 minutes. He gets it done quick. He keeps it simple. I know how to yap, that's for sure. MNDY dropped off early this morning, Monday, reporting the earnings on MSTR or MTSR. Whoa, my dyslexia really getting to me there. This is not MSTR. No. This is MTSR. So, and it's not an inverse ticker either. This is a completely different company. That's weird. It met Sarah. I don't know. It's expensive either way. That just threw me for a loop, though. Need more caffeine. Need more coffee. Oscar down a bit this morning. Nothing really from the loser side that's as tempting. Maybe the Oscar trade. I mean, if they're reporting bad news or something, then maybe, or at least with the shutdown and whatnot relating to health insurance companies and whatnot, right? So let's see. They launched their new affordable health insurance choices for Southern Florida. Oh, hello, that's me. Oscar Health expands tolerable. Yeah. So that's pretty much what we're talking about here. So, hey, do we need to add Oscar to our watch list? We don't need to, but it's down over 8%. It's easy to borrow. It's actually building a bearish Fausto flag as we speak. So we don't need to, but I kind of want to. We're going to put it on our watch list there for that reason, because we want to. It looks tradable. Now, otherwise, folks, Brad, Michael, Kathleen, Grant, all of our students right now inside our live trading room. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to take a look at as we wrap this meeting up here. Congratulations to anyone that held on to the U trade, at least from Thursday last week. We were down a little bit Friday pre-market. Now we're up almost like 11%. We were up like 11 at least early this morning. But, we'll see how this reacts going into the first 5 or 10 minutes. I could see myself getting out on this trade pretty quickly after the opening bell. But if this is off to another big pop right away, then, we'll just see how far we can get. Reversal time 10:30, right? So I know Tom took this trade, one of our gold students. Congrats to him. For anyone else that held on to this trade from Friday or from Thursday, we're killing it. Now, again, let me know if anything else is looking good, folks, inside our live trading room or on the YouTubes here. See, it's exactly why we made that general discussion tab. Exactly why. I appreciate all the chat going on there. I really do. So some good insight from students right now in our general discussion tab too there. Palantir's up 3%. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting this on our list. We already have a decent watch list already at this point. So NVIDIA's up 3%. We could add NVIDIA. Amazon is up right now. Apple, I'm certain, is up a little bit. It's not up as much, but we could add all those stocks that are up just a little bit to our watch list. But we've already built it out pretty nicely here at this point. So listen, if you do well on Palantir, you know who you are. If you do well on NVIDIA, more often than not, you know who you are. It's one of those days, right? There is a lot to work with here for this morning. Rivian as well, Tom, right? Rivian holding 2 from Friday and from Thursday, I think, as well, right? Yeah, from Wednesday even here too. So actually, that's more tempting to me than any of these others. To have Rivian close near the highs, what was it on Friday? Forgot I took my calendar off my wall there. I looked up to an empty wall right there. Rivian closed at the highs of the day back on, what was this, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then here we are on Monday. It's still near those same highs. I wouldn't mind putting this on our list more for that reason, Tom. That's not a bad shout. All right, so we got that. Let me know if there's anything else on Benzinga Pro, or at least I'll let you know on that. How about that? We'll go through this together here. The move trade, the MSGY, is that trying to prove something to us right now? Nothing else is really looking that great though, otherwise, or nothing else that we've missed, I should say at least. Yeah, this thing's trending just down, down, down. If it wants to pop for us, we'll call it out when that happens. Don't hold your breath too long on this stock, right? All right, again on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Let me know if anything else is looking good. All of us just inside our social feeds at Cyber Trading U. Just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button right there. I'll be on at noon Eastern, 12 o'clock Eastern later on this afternoon. I'll be on to do a live Q&A workshop called Traders Talk. As if I don't yap enough, here we are for another week-long edition of this workshop, or hour-long edition of this weekly workshop, mind you. But just make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button down there below on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok as well. I don't dance for you here on TikTok, but we are here to educate you on TikTok. But otherwise, Michael saying XPEV has been higher with Rivian. Yeah, I liked XPEV from mid last week. Then it dumped on Friday, right? It dumped on Friday there. So we'll come back to this trade, certainly, Mike, if there's a good move up on it again, like after the market opens, I should say. It's up 5% this morning, of course, but this has a pretty interesting long-term graph. We're calling that out, I think, from Thursday of last week it was. So, we'll revisit that, I'm sure, over time. All right, folks. Hey, that'll do it for all of us here. I think Fausto will be back. Don't count me on this, but I think he'll be back on Wednesday. You got me back for one more day tomorrow, but we'll be back either way. 12 o'clock Eastern for our live workshop today, as well as 2:30 Eastern for our next broadcast, our typical afternoon meeting. We'll come back here at 2:30 Eastern, rescan the markets, build up a watch list for you going into the market close. But for all of us, though, here, Nabil, Brad, Lawrence, Michael, got about 190 of us joining us inside our live trading room here. Just give me a quick couple minutes. I'll recharge everything up here myself. We'll be good to go here in just a moment for the opening bell. I'll talk to you all soon.